what we're going to do is a probability-based question in genetics. So let's just start reading. It says the allele lowercase l in Drosophila is recessive, sex-linked, and lethal when homozygous or hemizygous. So when you have this allele twice in a female on two X chromosomes, or when you have it once on an X chromosome and then you have your Y chromosome over here, it's going to be lethal for that progeny in the fruit flies. Now, if a female of the genotype big L and little l is crossed with a normal male, and if they're normal, since they only have one X chromosome, that must mean that it's the big L allele, and then they have their Y chromosome, what is the probability that the first two surviving, so first two and then surviving progeny, are going to be males? Now, the reason I underline these in three different colors is because you need to pay attention to those three phrases, because that's going to help us figure out how to find the probability. Now, before we do that, let's look at our genotype table. We're going to do the Punnett square, right? So, if we do this, we're going to have a homozygous dominant female, so she's going to survive. A heterozygous female will survive, and then a dominant male, and then a recessive male. And so notice that this recessive male over here is going to die because he is hemizygous for the lowercase l allele in Drosophila. And notice that this is a sex-linked gene. Now, when we're looking at the probability question, it says the first two surviving progeny and will be males. Now, there's a difference between a category and the outcome that we want. All right? So, the category that we have here is surviving progeny. That's our category. That means the offspring that we'll be looking at are those, the following offspring right here. These are the offspring we're looking at. Not the entire list of offspring, but only the ones that survived. This is going to be our category. And why is this important? That means we only have three possibilities for our offspring. If I were to look at all of the offspring and not the surviving ones, then we would end up having four different possibilities, and that would change the probability that we want. So now we categorize this as our category, all right, where we are looking. Now the outcomes that we want are first two and males, right? So we want to look at what is the probability of being male, and then multiply that essentially, or do that same thing twice. Now, if you want to be a male in this category, you have a 1/3 chance. So you have a 1/3 chance of being a male. And that's because out of your three options, only 1/3 of them is male. And this is among the surviving category. Now, if we were to say what is the probability that it will be a male and surviving, that would be a different question. But here it's saying among the surviving progeny, essentially. What is the probability that you'll be male? And here it's 1/3. Now, the first two that will be male, that means we need to do this twice. We need to make sure that the first offspring is male, that's 1/3, and then the probability that the second offspring is male, which is independent of the first one, that means we multiply the probabilities, is also going to be 1/3. And so when we multiply this out to independent events, and you can multiply them together to get the total probability, that will give us a 1/9 chance. So we have a 1/9 chance among the surviving progeny that we will get males twice in a row. That is the probability question here in genetics. Make sure to understand what is your category that you are looking at, and then what are the outcomes that you want. All right?